nation's capital, Washington, D.C., perhaps the most powerful city in all the world, certainly one of the most beautiful. But the action tonight is just to the east of downtown Washington, the Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland. It's Game 5 of the NBA World Championship Series, and we've got a sellout crowd of more than 19,000 on hand. You will be watching live. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Welcome to Landover. The setting is quite simple. Game 5, if Seattle wins, they will capture their first ever World Championship. The Bullets, of course, must win to send it back to Seattle for a Game 6. Is the fat lady here? Well, of course she is here. But the Supersonics say she's been struck with laryngitis. The roar will be constant now throughout the rest of this game. And it's a pleasure again to be working alongside Rick Barry and Hot Rod Hundley. Let's go to Rick now for some insight into the Seattle Supersonics, who are closing in on that title. Rick?
Brent, to a man, this Sonic team is determined to win the championship here tonight. In order to do that, they have to continue to perform well in 3 areas that they've done in the first 4 games. That is to stay close on the boards, to continue to play the tough, aggressive defense, and also to get the early running offensive game going. The 3 men who have done the job so far for the Sonics have been Gus Williams, Dennis Johnson, and Jack Sikma. They have been quite a trio. Now, for more on the Washington story, let's go to Rod Hundley.
Thank you, Rick. And obviously, the Washington Bullets, again, are going to have to push the ball up the floor if they're going to win this game. They played extremely well in losing by 2 points Tuesday night, even though they lost Dandridge, Elvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld via fouls. But tonight, the Big E, shooting only 36% in the first 4 games, is going to have to find his eye and get it back if they're going to win. But again, Washington must push the ball up the floor. Let's go to Brent for the starting lineup.
Thank you very much, Hot Rod. For Lenny Wilkins and the Supersonics, John Johnson, Lonnie Shelton with Jack Sikma, Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams in the backcourt. And for the defending world champion Washington Bullets, coached by Dick Motta, Bobby Dandridge and Elvin Hayes with Wes Unseld. Kevin Greavy and Thomas Henderson will start in the backcourt. The officials, Jake O'Donnell, Joe Gashu, and Paul Mahalik with Wally Rooney, the alternate. And the Big E will jump center against Jack Sikma, number 43. The Supersonics 1 victory away from their first ever World Championship. The Bullets trail 3 games to 1. They are determined to battle back as they did against San Antonio. The E with the left hand, and it's Dennis Johnson, number 24 for Seattle. Gus Williams will wear number 1. John Johnson, great assist forward, goes to Sikma, 43. Wes Unseld out high on him. Jack goes to the slingshot, it's short. Dandridge with the game's first rebound. Here's Kevin Greavy for the Bullets, 35, inside of Williams. Elvin Hayes, an offensive rebound.
Well, I talked about Elvin starting off with a good basket there. Got to improve his shooting in this ballgame. That's the way to get it started.
I have never heard it this loud before in the Capitol Center. Not last year when the Bullets won the championship. Shelton was fouled on the pass in. Elvin Hayes was in behind him.
Ran right up his back on the play, Brent. They've got to keep the Big E out of foul trouble early in this ball game. He's still the key to this ball club.
Sonics will inbounds after the foul against the Big E. Williams, Shelton, tied. Starting guards, and that tells it all in this series. The Sonics guards have been devastating. Unseld, flat, knocked out, 4-2, Washington. And the starting forwards, you can see there, Bobby Dandridge, Elvin Hayes, their influence on the Bullet attack. Shelton. Offense, Bobby Dandridge. Henderson. Sikma to the rebound. Outlet Williams. Jump shot, and Dandridge stayed right with it. Inside pass to Shelton. Missed, and Lonnie came across and missed the pass. Well, let's come back with Greavy, 35.
That's a smart play by Greavy. What they can't do, Brent, is go out of control like they did a little bit in the game back in Seattle. They need to get it up quickly, take the good opportunity. If it's not there, bring it out.
Layup missed by Greavy. Loose ball foul call by Gashu.
Come on, Unseld. And West doesn't like that call. That's a good drive by Greavy. He just cannot find the shot. And West called for the loose ball foul and a rebound. We look again. Here's Kevin driving the baseline. Sigma switched over to him defensively. He tried to reverse. Here's West and a pile of players. I actually thought he got away with it cleanly, but they called the foul.
Bullets lead by 2. 4-2. Unseld loose, and it's DJ loose. Back off the Danley. Stolen by the Wizard, and Gus will have a layup. He is averaging 30 points an outing in this championship series.
There's that great quickness that he has in anticipation for the basketball. You can't put it up for grabs with Gus Williams.
Hayes turnaround, and Sigma looks outlet. He's got Williams. Henderson loose, run down to the corner by the Sonics. Lonnie Shelton, they got a lucky break.
That ball almost went in, Brett. It actually hit the rim.
Hayes, Greavy, 3-on-2. Greavy to the middle.
Now a count.
Here comes to the line.
Oh, he's hurt too. Kevin. Oh, he's really hurt.
It's that leg again. Dick Mata with a show of concern there. You saw that look on his face.
Greavy realized he was hurt. He come up, he slapped his leg. Here we look at it again. He'll take the drive. Really penetrates nicely on the play. Down the alley, splitting the defenders. Right here, contact. Down he goes, off balance. And right here. That's where he came up. Down the middle again. Another look. That's a tough shot. The basket counts. He came down off balance. That's when he slapped that leg. He realized he was hurt. The trainer's out with him, John Lally, along with Coach Dick Mata.
He has to shoot the free throw. If he does not shoot the free throw and he goes out, he cannot come back into the game. So if they're going to take him out, he must shoot the free throw.
They're going to take a... No, they're not going to take a timeout. He's going to go to the line and shoot it.
Now Charles Johnson is taking off his warm-ups. He will be checking in for Greavy. The free throw is missed. Run down by DJ. 6-4 Bullets lead. Dennis tries for the tie. Loose underneath. We go over to the Bullets, and here comes Charles Johnson for the injured Kevin Greavy.
Well, he almost risked an injury there after he missed that free throw, and that ball bounded out long. He tried to pick it up. DJ ran by him, and he wisely got out of the way.
He's, as you see, going to the locker room with Dr. Stan Levine, the team physician.
Into Elding. And Shelton guarding him, pushing foul against Shelton as Greavy and trainer John Lally wind their way back to the Bullet locker room. Hayes comes off of Shelton. Sigma. And they want to go. And he called it as he went up above the cylinder.
Well, he got away with one here, Rick. That looked like charging to me on Elvin. Down goes Shelton.
Well, Shelton was running in, too, so I guess they decided to let it go. Here's the play. Now you see Sigma right there. The ball still was inside the perimeter. There's an imaginary line that goes up. The ball still was in that plane. Good call by Jake O'Donnell.
We've got a timeout. Kevin Greavy out after re-injuring that hamstring muscle. Charles Johnson played his best game of the playoffs in Game 4 in Seattle when he hit 7 of 14 from the field. He finished with 18 points. In the 3 games prior, he had hit just 5 of 21 field goal attempts and scored for 10 points. As Gus Williams brings it up, the Sonics trail the Bullets 8-4. First period, Game 5 of the NBA World Championship Series. This is guard Dennis Johnson, 24, and now it's a 2-point Washington lead.
I think, Brent, that Gus Williams and Dennis Johnson perhaps are the best guard combination in basketball since West and Goodrich back on the World Championship team of the Lakers in '72. They both do it all.
Unseld with the jump hook. Doesn't get the bounce. Sigma to the rebound. Sigma is the leading rebounder in the championship series so far. Dennis backs in, double team. Sigma sends it back to DJ, and here's Gus. The middle, as he wound his way in, he was fouled. Tom Henderson on the outside with his first personal.
CJ had him beat on the play. You'll see Henderson reach in. Right here as Gus tried to make the move, got fouled on the play.
Shelton with a good fake on E and a slam dunk. He took it home from outside. Shelton has been slumping from the field, and he comes alive here in the early moments.
There's that last play by Shelton. Well, little technical problems there.
As DJ comes up across the line for Seattle. JJ, Sigma slingshot. Hayes rebound. Charles Johnson's got two. It is 12-8 Bullets.
He probably pushes the ball up the floor as well as any of the Bullet guards, Brent. That's CJ.
The Wizard.
That's just not good team defense. They have to shut that middle up. They can't let Gus go to the hoop like that. Somebody should have been there to help.
Hayes yanked down by CJ. The little man throws it up against the Redwoods and misses. Loose and a whistle. Sigma and Hayes were battling, and it goes against center Jack Sigma.
Hey, Sigma, please.
Now watch Gus's drive right here. He's making all these moves. He spins. No defensive help. Everybody's standing around watching. He tried to get in there, but a little bit late.
Bobby Dandridge is scoreless here in the first period. And Elvin Hayes is into the offense early with 8 points.
They're letting him get the ball down low where he likes to have the ball. They're going to have to force the Big E to come out a little further.
Just saw Mitch Kupchak ran over to Bernie Bickerstaff, the assistant coach, after E scored. He says, Bernie, E wants the ball. He wants it.
And he is 4-7. Shelton. Sigma rebounding and slamming it home was left open. Lost out of bounds. It'll go over to the Sonics, who can shoot for the tie off of CJ's foot.
Here's the missed shot by Shelton. There's Sigma inside as Unseld and Hayes both were flat-footed. He easily dunked it in.
That's why you box out. They're supposed to anyway.
4 rebounds for Sigma. He has averaged almost 15 a game. John Johnson's off. Dennis tracks it down in the corner with a fine save to Williams. Gus comes around the Sigma screen as West went jumping out, and Hayes rebounds. Outlet to CJ. Here's Henderson, 2-on-1. From the side. That's a boost.
That's what the Bullets have got to do, Brent. Come down the floor, get the Sonics in a bad transition situation, get good opportunity shots like that.
That was a picture-pretty fast break because CJ gave it up to Henderson to start it and then took the return pass.
Shelton and a loose ball foul called. Dennis Johnson was underneath, and he's assessed the personal.
Well, watch the play again here. Now watch DJ. He gives a little fake. We didn't bring it back quite far enough. DJ was backing Elvin out to try to get position, and that's where the foul was called.
Here's Hayes in low again, just turning on Shelton. That's the Bullets' biggest lead now. 10 points for E. A 6-point Bullet lead.
And the biggest difference, Brent, he's getting beautiful position. Shelton's letting him get the ball 4 or 5 feet from the basket right in the front. You can't give a man that good a position, not a man like Elvin Hayes.
Three-second violation. It is over.
That'll happen when you isolate one man, JJ working against Dandridge, and the other players are standing around. They get called for the 3-second lane violation.
Great pick by Unseld. Sigma has it, but he traveled before he took the shot. Johnson turned it over. Dennis Johnson has averaged 23 points over the last 8 games the Sonics have played in the playoffs. Sigma put it on the floor. And
An offensive foul called. 3-second violation again this time, Brand. What happens? Jack makes a fake here. Now Shelton had come into the picture right there trying to get position. He's in the lane too long. When Jack didn't shoot it, he got called for 3 seconds.
Hayes is 5 of 8. Foul as he turned around on Shelton.
That time he got him out where he wanted him, away from the basket, but Big E quickly turning. He's got the confidence here early. And he actually almost had that basket. Here it is again. A quick turnaround shot. He tried to crank it in. A little bit too hard off the glass, but he was fouled. 2 free throws for the Big E.
And what he's doing, Brent, is what he didn't do in the first game. He's making the quick move this time.
That foul was called against Jack. No, it was against Shelton. They're correcting it. And that's 2 fouls on Shelton. For a moment, it sounded as though they were going to call it on Sikma. But the PA announcer corrected it when Paul Mahalik went to the table. With those free throws, the Bullets go up 20-12 in the first period. The word from the locker room is that Kevin Greavy may not be able to play the rest of this game. Re-injured hamstring muscle. And again, he was up over the top on the cylinder. Interference, no basket.
That's a good call. Lenny Wilkins will not like it, but it was a good call. They had their hand up over the rim. Here it is again. You see DJ go up right there. That's not allowed. Bullet ball.
Hayes backdoors Shelton. Sikma comes over. Hayes comes out of the pile.
Sonics not getting an early offense at all, Brent. They've only scored 12 points. They've been forced to go to the setup game, and Phoenix did a good job making them do that, and they didn't do real well against Phoenix in the set offense.
Sikma and Unseld collide, and there's an elbow thrown down inside against West.
He thought it should have been an offensive foul. As Sikma tried to take the move to the baseline, he moved in with the left elbow. Here's a play a moment ago as Elvin Hayes had the shot blocked. You see Sikma come over and knock it down. Then the Big E picked it right back up. And one of his favorite moves, he spins to his right and hits the jump shot.
Shelton with the basket outside for the Sonics, 22-14. Bullets lead. That's 2 fouls on Wes Unseld here in the first period. Paul Silas has checked in to guard Hayes. Dandridge with his first field goal of the game.
And Bobby D is an unselfish player, Brett. He does not mind the fact that they try to get E off early. He just bides his time.
Dennis Johnson.
Here's E again on the last play. There's the ball off. Bobby D did not get screened off in the right position at the right time.
14 points for Hayes in the opening period. C.J. Shelton, the guards break and Henderson intercepts. C.J. swatted goaltending against Shelton.
Right, this is a fired up Washington ball club. This is the best basketball they have played so far in this championship series by any comparison whatsoever. They're just playing great. Here's the hustle. You look at the hustle by Henderson getting back to pick off that pass.
Dandridge made a good play at the offensive end unselfishly right here with the ball. Makes the pass when he could have taken the shot. Right to C.J. down the lane.
1:56 to go in the first. Dennis. And they batted it away to the other side of John Johnson. 2 bullets.
One thing Motto will be happy about on that play is at least the Bullet players were in good position and were trying to get the ball. You can't fall to the mountain.
Bullet coach Dick Motto calls a timeout and checks the scoreboard. His Bullets are up 26-18, 135. A victory to wrap up its first World Championship is off to a 9 of 23 or a 39% start. Elvin Hayes is 6 of 11, 2 free throws. He also, in addition to 14 points, has yanked down 6 rebounds.
And in the break situation, Brett, Washington already has 6 break points. Seattle only 2. That's very low for Seattle. That's one of the reasons why Washington is ahead. They're playing excellent defense out here.
Shelton taking Unseld. They work it in low to Hayes. Paul Mahalik underneath, coming out to take the call.
We'll get a foul on Salas on that play before the shot, and that wouldn't have counted it. He just made a quick move on the baseline. Here's the play. Salas bumps him before he went up for the shot.
And the continuation rule is in effect this time. He had the foul. He was starting his shot, so it's going to go.
Elvin Hayes has not hit the 30-point mark since he scored 39 in Game 7 against Atlanta. That was back on April 29th. He fouled out of Game 4 in Seattle with 18 points, and he was scoreless in the 4th period. Here with a minute 15 to go in the 1st period, it is a 10-point Bullet lead.
One indication that he's hot is he's been hitting his free throws, and Elvin on the year is really not a good free throw shooter.
Knocked away from Gus by CJ, and he fouled him in the process. CJ has come off Dick Motta's bench to score 6 points. And Gus Williams out of the University of Southern California at the free throw line. So far for the series, he has hit the 30-point mark 3 times and 7 times overall in 16 playoff games this year. His only noticeable deficiency has been at the free throw line. Inside of a minute, 1st period. Bobby Dandridge traveled as he came down, and a 3-second violation is called inside on the play too.
Got hung up in the air, nowhere to go. There's Salas and Hayes bumping down low on the right side. Look at Salas trying to keep him from getting that position inside. You'll see that all night long.
40 seconds, 1st period. 10 on the shot clock. 8, 7, traveling. It'll go over to the Bullets with 31 seconds to go. The Sonics are assured of getting it back before the period ends. A 9-point lead by Washington. Shot clock at 10. Unseld sets the screen. Bobby Dandridge's second shot of the period. He is 2 of 2. 2 seconds. Gus Williams with a second. No. It would not have counted. That's the end of the 1st period of Game 5 of the NBA World Championship Series. The watch live on CBS. Game 5 of the NBA World Championship Series. The Seattle Supersonics, wearing their traveling green, need a victory tonight to wrap up the World Championship. And in the 1st quarter, it was the Washington Bullets who took command, hitting 57% from the field. Elvin Hayes was 6 of 11, and they have opened up a 30-19 lead. I'm Brent Musburger with Hot Rod Hundley and Rick Barry at half. Kevin Greavy was injured early. Dick Motta is now pointing at the clock, wanting the full 24 seconds. They were off to a false start, and the shot clock had wound down to 21.
One man that didn't get much recognition in that 1st quarter, did a lot, was Henderson. Tommy Henderson with 5 assists, even though he did not score.
Elvin Hayes turnaround. Loose, run down by Freddie Brown, who has checked in for the Sonics. He will wear number 32. He is the captain of the Western Conference champions. John Johnson gives it down to Freddie, who doesn't take long to go downtown. Quickly, it becomes a 9-point Bullet lead. A year ago, these 2 teams went 7 games. CJ is stuffed by DJ, and Sigma rebounds. Greg Ballard fell to the floor, his 1st appearance for Washington. Brown, a runner, and he's 2 of 2.
That again is the toughest shot in basketball, in my opinion. There's the commissioner, Larry O'Brien.
That's his lovely wife, Elva, alongside him. A 3-second violation against Bullets. It goes over to the Sonics. There's
Here's Elvin in the middle, banging away with Paul Silas. In there a little bit long, and Lenny Wilkins said to Jake O'Donnell, "Where's the foul?" Jake said, "You got the 3 seconds. What more do you want?"
Greg Ballard. Fine young forward. Dennis Johnson's turnaround jumper is right on, and the Sonics have slashed back into it. 30-25. The Bullets have not yet scored in the second period.
BJ at 6'4", CJ only a 6-footer, just took him down low and easily jumped over him.
Dick Motta is going to try Phil Chenier. Larry Wright hits from the corner. His first field goal. He was the star of game 1 when he tossed in 12 field goals. Kevin Greavy injured early, pulled hamstring, has not returned from the locker room, and the report is he probably will not. Here's Dennis again, hanging in the air. Loose, and it's Freddie Brown. Block, Ballard. Off to CJ, who breaks alone. It'll be easy.
It was a backcourt foul, Brett. It's so noisy in here, you can't even hear the whistle. When Ballard tried to throw the pass, he was fouled in the backcourt. We'll see it on the rebound here. We get the replay back. Take a look at it now. Now watch Ballard here. The block by East got it. Now watch him try to throw. Right there, he got whacked by Paul Silas. And that's where the foul was.
Freddie Brown should have taken that jump shot out there to start the whole play, but he tried to dive down the middle, and that made it easily a block for Hayes on the play. That set the whole thing up.
35-25. And the veteran Phil Chenier coming back from back surgery. Where's number 45? He's out of the University of California.
Shelton back in, and John Johnson's getting a little rest also.
The matchups have Chenier against Dennis. Larry Wright chasing Freddie Brown all over the place. Throws up a runner and got the roll.
No running hook, about a half hook shot. That's a tough shot.
Captain is sparking the Sonics right now, isn't he? 36-27, 9:37 in the first half. Silas is out on Hayes, and Sigma draws Unseld. Wright loses control, and on the turnover, it'll go to the Sonics. And also, we're going to have a timeout. 9 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the second period. The world champion Washington Bullets must win. They took command in the first period, but Freddie Brown and the Seattle Washington Bullets know a lot about coming back. They had to do it against Atlanta. Then they were down to San Antonio 3-1.
An interesting statistic. Wes Unseld, it's hard to believe, does not have a rebound yet in this ball game.
He set some good screens, though, that allowed a couple of his teammates some easy jump shots. One by Dandridge was a beauty.
Ballard assigned to Shelton. The battle of Oregon State continues. There was a whistle inside. Paul Silas had the ball. Larry Wright was chasing Freddie.
It was called on Chenier chasing Dennis Johnson. They were both chasing their respective guards, and Chenier picked up the foul.
Here comes Freddie. Pushing that time will go against Wright.
They're moving just as well as they did in the first quarter with BJ and Gus. Freddie Brown's coming in, picking up the tempo, just keeps moving, cutting through the lane when they don't have the ball. That makes it awfully tough on the Bullet guards defensively.
Shelton rolling off the screen. Ballard had switched out, and now Shelton's got the smaller Wright, and so quickly Hayes is over, and that leaves Freddie Brown for the perimeter. Good defense by Ballard, who went flying out. Now it's Wright, eyeing the floor for the Bullets. Silas awaits his man, Eldon. Wright is alone. One of those guards is wide open.
Chenier wide open. Nobody's guarding him.
Double team. Hayes took the shot, and Sigma rebounds, and they should have moved the ball to Chenier over on that other corner. Here comes Brown. Bounces into Wright. Offensive foul called against Freddie.
He's a little step quicker than Freddie Brown, and Freddie tried to give him a good left to right fake. But Wright jumped out in front of him. You look at it here. There's the fake left. Come back right. But Larry was right in position to force the charge.
34-27. Bullets. 8 minutes and 30 seconds. First half. Game 5 of this championship series. Wright yanks down the rebound. Lost control as he came to the end line. And it goes over to the Sonics as Dick Motta looks on for the Bullet bench. Turnovers are even, 7 apiece.
Seattle with the edge and rebounding 15-14 at this moment.
Sikma has a height advantage on Unseld. Hayes, here's Wright again. Cuts over to the right. Greg Ballard at the free throw line. Shelton working on him. Ballard is a little flat on the shot. Silas. Here's Dennis Johnson.
Took a tough shot, Brett. He took a turnaround fadeaway going left, not just back straight from the basket. That's almost impossible to make that.
Sikma. Short. Loose. It goes to Shelton as again 2 bullets collide.
Ballard would have had it, but Unseld came over his back and knocked the ball free, and Seattle was there to pick it up.
It shows you the aggressiveness in which they're playing, though. They're really hustling, going after the ball. Everybody's attacking the basketball. It's caused them to lose 4 points as a result, however.
Ballard from the corner goes to Unseld. Larry Wright. Partially blocked. Silas tries to get it off to Brown, who's open. Freddie jumped up on the press table to save it, but sent it back to the Bullets.
How about that one?
Here's Chenier. Sikma. Holding forth at the rebounding end because he's only 1 of 5 tonight shooting. Traveling is the call.
He had made a great defensive play, Freddie Brown, when he blocked the shot, then saved it at the other end. Mitch Kupchak on the bench for the Bullet. Here's Brown going right up on the press row table. He'll knock some paper away here. Watch bodies clear out. Great body balance. He's all right. Timeout.
The Bullets have not scored in 3 minutes and 14 seconds. The Sonics have been outscored 10-4 here in the second period. It is 34-29, 6 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first half. Wright sends it back to Dandridge. Brown rebound. Taking Sikma. Dandridge is with John Johnson. Wes Unseld out with Greg Ballard working against Shelton. Sikma uses the Shelton screen, and that's Jack's second field goal, and they are right back in it. They've outscored them 12-4, and the Bullets have gone cold, so Dandridge will try now to pick up some of the slack. Hayes on the turnaround. Point for the Bullets this quarter.
That was a tough one that time, but yet the pressure coming from his right side as well as from behind him, and he quickly got the shot away.
Shelton. Hayes rebounds. Outlet for Wright. Cross court to Dandridge. Abedi.
Well, they just scored in the last 40 seconds as many points as they had in the previous 6. Crazy game.
DJ.
Chenier did all he could on that play, right with him, but DJ just leaped over him and hit the shot.
Chenier sends it to Ballard.
Nice play by Phil Chenier. He drew the defensive man, Fred Brown, to him. He saw his man Ballard open. Once the defense committed, he got it to the open man. That's the way the game should be played.
Brown and Wright were dueling underneath. Foul was down away from the ball. Goes against Wright on the hold. And DJ will inbound for the Sonics.
Here's the action down underneath. You can see right here, Wright and Fred Brown going at it, holding on to him a little bit. Got picked up the foul.
Bad pass by Brown. It is turned over, and Wright missed the layup. Sikma with Wright coming for the side. Jack battles back for the rebound. Stays with it. Comes up with a shot.
Basket will count. He's down on the play. Seattle had quite a few people inside a 3-second lane area, but they made no call. Here's Sikma turning to the right side, puts it up and in, and fouled on the play. He'll go to the free throw line. Tough shot to stop. He keeps that ball up so high above his head when he shoots.
Williams returns. Even though Jack Sikma was not shooting well, he had still pulled down 9 rebounds.
J.J. paid him quite a compliment. In the local newspapers, he said when he's open late in the game, we have confidence in the young fella. Only 23 in his second year, but he can shoot the basketball and he likes pressure situations.
Dandridge comes up. He'll come to the line. Chance for the three-pointer.
Well, watch the play again. He clears out, gives room for Bobby D to work against Dennis Johnson, a tough defender right there with the body. Looks like Dennis might have left his feet a little bit and made the move. Bobby initiated a little bit of contact, but we talked about that particular play quite a bit. When you leave your feet as a defensive player, you're always committing yourself to trouble.
Williams goes to Shelton. 4 minutes, first half. John Johnson with a screen. Dandridge came for the side. Off DJ's hand. Technical foul has been called as Dennis Johnson was pursuing Joe Gashu, arguing violently about the play.
See Gus Williams restraining Dennis. He doesn't want him to get thrown out of the game. Here you'll see the play underneath. There's DJ in front. Hayes came over his back. The ball actually was hit by DJ, but Hayes had forced contact, and that's what forced him to have a few words to say to Gashu on the play, and he hit him with a technical.
44-36, and Dennis was telling Gus, I'm okay, I've settled down. Dandridge has come on to score 10 points, and he has been the big man in pressure situations. In that 7th game against Atlanta and San Antonio, he shot 57% in those 2 games. Here he is, Mr. Clutch. 3:37, first half. It's 46-36. Dandridge and the Bullets build a 10-point lead.
Yeah, J.J. leaning on the defense that time, and Bobby just pulled up, had that shot away. J.J. never got a hand up.
Boy, he's looking smooth shooting the ball tonight, too, Brent.
DJ turns. Elvin lost control, and Shelton came up.
That's 3 baskets that have happened that the Bullets have had the rebound, lost the ball, and the Sonics have put it in. What a difference that would make in this game right now.
Dandridge again. That time he forced one under heavy pressure from John Johnson. Sikma's 7th rebound goes to Dennis, and the Wizard dishes to Shelton.
Beautiful feed, penetrated well. You mentioned it on that play that he went up defensively. J.J. made a great play on it defensively. Here's Gus penetrating, cross court to Shelton. He brought Elvin Hayes to him, and Shelton was there for the dunk.
Quickly, the Sonics climb back within 6. Chenier was tied up, and the foul is going to go against Sikma. Surprise in the championship series as far as the Bullets are concerned. The young man out of Illinois, Wesleyan, in his 2nd year, they say is so very much better than he was a year ago when the Bullets won in a dramatic 7th game back in Seattle.
Brent, we talked to Sam Shulman out there, and I think both Rod and I agree that he's playing in the proper position. I think he's much more effective playing that center position because he can take the big guy outside with that shot, and they're not going to come out and play him. And if they do come out, it opens up the middle for the other big men.
Chenier's 2nd free throw, and the burden is on Phil Chenier now with Kevin Greavy sidelined because of the pulled hamstring. John Johnson, 27 out of Iowa, looks over Bobby Dandridge, loses the dribble and goes to the shot, and Bobby Dandridge blocked it. Great defense. Henderson breaks. John Johnson had fouled him.
Oh, that would have been a two points there.
Brent, the old officials, Rod, they would not have made that call. A guy who had been around a long time, because they would have seen that it was 2 points for the team, and they called that one. They only called a 1-shot foul. That's a big break for the Sonic team right there.
Henderson would have had it. He would have been wide open for a layup. That's a big break, a good foul as it worked out for Seattle.
Dick Amata was quietly, maybe not so quietly, telling Jake O'Donnell what Rick Barry just said. Come on, Jake. Here's Chenier to the jump shot. Bullets over the Sonics. Knocked free, but Shelton. Silas holding court in the middle. Williams short off Unsell's hand, and Chenier to Dandridge. He's got Henderson. He didn't see him. Bobby D, no basket. Offensive foul, no basket. He had Thomas Henderson on the left side right there, and he doesn't see Henderson, who's all alone.
He almost lost the ball. To regain possession of it, then it was too late to make the pass, and they called it for a turnover.
Sonics trailing the Bullets by 9. Marvelous playoffs this year. Next year we'll have Magic Johnson, the Birdman, Larry Bird. Silas swatted away by the Big E. Loose, collision, tied up. Pointing at Henderson. Foul is going to be called against Thomas Henderson.
The penalty situation. Let's take a look at the play right here. They're banging around going after the ball. There's Henderson leaning down. I didn't see any elbow throw. They were going after the ball. That's a bad call.
That's a free ball right there. I got to agree with Rick on that one, but so let's let that one go. Yes,
You're agreeing with me?
How about that?
Thank you.
Coach Wilkins looking on. Gus Williams free throw had pulled the Sonics to within 8. Missed and Unsell off to Henderson. That rebounding edge by the Sonics, 27-19. Unsell want to go backdoor. Shelton swats, and there's Chenier. Intercepted by Williams. It's 3-on-2. Gus will spin. Chenier off quickly now to Henderson. It's 3-on nobody. Hayes.
Where they got to get movement of the ball. Seattle, they're down by 10. Get the movement, get good shots.
John Johnson's on the money. 51-43 with 28 seconds now in the first half.
Right man had the ball there. Silas, he's a good passer. He slowed the momentum, waited patiently, and he got JJ. Smart play.
Johnson fronts Dandridge. Bobby D being fronted by Johnson, denied the ball. Can't get it. Here's Chenier from the right side. Taken down by Williams. 2 seconds. 1 second with the shot. And he was on the money. Just a touch short. The end of the first half. And it's been a damn. The Washington Bullets under Dick Motta, who must win to force a 6th game back in Seattle, take a 51-43 lead into their locker room over Seattle at halftime. And coming up, Hot Rod Hundley will tell us all about famous chicken. Not take a shot. He's got the ball right now, but he dished out 6 assists. Gus Williams hit his first 2 field goals for the Sonics, then missed 7 in a row. Elvin Hayes and Williams was in behind with a hand all over the ball. There's Wes's second rebound, and it's a big one.
Nice shot. He got it with the left hand, turning his body away from the basket. Fine play by Wes.
Dandridge and Hayes, between them, had 13 of the Bullets' field goals in that first half. Williams dishing to the side, and Paul Mahalik with the call outside.
Well, watch Unsell's last play. Here you see him be in good position. A long bounce. Sigma had the good inside position, but West in the right place. Left-handed little shot. Nice touch in the basket.
That was the 3rd personal against Tom Henderson. That was just whistled. Kevin Greavy out for the game. Pulled hamstring, first period. Dennis Johnson now is shooting 5 of 11. 10 points, and Henderson, too, is limping. And he needs an injury timeout. He will get it right now. John Lally is out. Dick Motta walks down towards Larry Wright. He has been run it down. Gus comes after him and steals it, and the Wizards scores 2.
That's just Just a great individual effort right there by Gus Williams, the man you're looking at.
Dandridge, John Johnson on him, Gus Williams helping. Chenier moves it to right. They leave Larry all alone.
That was the way to move the basketball because Gus Williams stayed to double team Dandridge. Right cleared all the way out. They swung the ball around the court, got it to the open man for 2 points.
And a 55-47 Washington lead here in the third period. Sonics a victory away from a world championship. John Johnson using the Sigma screen. 6 points for Johnson. He is 3 of 6 on the game now. 10 minutes, third period. Chenier cuts inside. Unseld moving, and it's going to go over now to the Sonics. We're going to have a timeout. It's going to be an offensive foul called against the Bullets with 9 minutes. 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 free throws, 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And the word now is official. Kevin Grevey will not return to game 5. Sigma turns on Unseld, comes with the shot. Taken down by the little man, right. Here comes the Grambling whiz.
Stepped right in front of JJ and took that one away from him. Like he even knew he was there.
Quicksilver. Dandridge goes back now to Chenier. Here's Wright. The Hulk is out. Chenier with 6 on the shot clock off of Bobby D's hands. Goes over to Seattle.
One of the Seattle players hit it first, but it went right through Bobby's hands. He complains, but I honestly think that he did touch the ball last.
The Sonics can ease to within 4 points right here. Chenier takes Dennis Johnson. Dandridge was out on John Johnson, who shot over him. It's a 4-point game in the third period. Chenier came down inside. John Johnson had switched off on him and fouled him. 2 fouls on JJ. Dandridge takes the inbounds. Wright tries to pick, and JJ comes right through it. Dandridge short and Sigma rebound. Sonics can close now to within 2. JJ, it's a 2-point basketball game. Third period, 8 minutes and 32 seconds, and a championship on the line. John Johnson has hit his last 4 shots for Lenny Wilkins. Dick Motta watches his Bullets go on the attack. Wright hesitates, gives it up to Big E. Elvin turns on Shelton, and now the Sonics, as they track it down, come down the floor with a trip that could tie it at 55. It's 55-53. DJ goes through John Johnson. Sigma's out the screen. JJ missed that time and off to Chenier. Chenier's lob. DJ intercepts, intended for Unseld, who's broken free. It was short. Now it's DJ off to Williams. Williams from the perimeter. We are tied in Landover. 7 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the third period, and the Bullets will use a timeout. The Bullets must win here tonight, or they will hand their crown to the men from Seattle, Washington, who lead this series 3 games to 1.
Look at that the Bullet bench. You'd think they ran out of uniforms. Everybody in civilian clothes over there.
Graham, big play was that great steal that Gus Williams made. That seemed to really ignite that Sonic ball club.
First time it's been tied, Rick, since 8-all. The Sonics have never led here. Bobby Dandridge puts it on the floor, goes to the basket, and hits the layup. Now the Bullets lead by 2.
Squeeze the air out of it. Greatness is starting to go up to protect the ball. It's a good move. Here he goes down the middle. Good control there, and then laid it right up. He got the field goal.
Elvin Hayes was blocking all the way. It pulled from his tackle spot and knocked down 2 defenders. John Johnson comes around the Sigma screen and elects to keep it outside. They go to Gus Williams. Knocked away by Dandridge. Great block by Bobby Dandridge. It's 2 on 3, and it'll be right swatted by Dennis Johnson. Goaltending is the call.
Well, I tell you, that Dennis Johnson's incredible the way he can jump. Lenny said the ball hardly left his hand. We'll see the pass as Wright cuts up, going to the basket. Larry tries to lay it up. There's DJ. The ball definitely coming down to the basket. It was almost over the cylinder, actually.
59-55 with Thomas Henderson on the Bullet bench applying ice to that injured ankle.
could make that play as he did on the last time down, as well as any of the guards on the Bullet Club. Very smart as a middleman on the break.
It was tied at 55. Then the Bullets won off 6 straight with 6:20 to go in the 3rd period. They go backdoor, and the Bullets force a turnover. Here's Chenier coming down on Sigma. Dennis Johnson was out on him.
That's a bad shot that time, Brand. He was in bad position.
Gus Williams is off, and now it is Wright. Right to the middle, dishes Chenier, and blocked by Sigma. Great defense by young Sigma that time.
It's a super block, but he did all he could. Chenier had to take it going, even though he knew the big man was there. And Sigma made a timely block.
Sigma has the ball, and Unseld knocks it away and tried to knock it off him. Here comes Wright on the fly. Wright goes to the glass, and Wes Unseld got it outside. The Sonics will call a timeout. The big man, the Incredible Hulk, is okay.
Dennis Johnson turned and yelled at his teammates, said, "Come on, guys, where are you?" Here's Larry Wright. Goes right by Gus. DJ will be the only man back on defense. He slows him down. Wright hits the shot off the glass, and we got a timeout. 63-55 Bullets. Point lead.
And all those 6 have come from Freddie Brown. He made 3 straight shots when he came in early in the ball game.
63-55. 5:25 to go in the 3rd. Whistle on the play before Dandridge intercepted.
Big Wes, I believe, holding Sigma. He's done a much better job in this game than he has the previous 4 against Sigma. He's really putting pressure on him early.
Inside the Washington locker room before the game, as they go backdoor against them, Gus Williams with the field goal. 63-57.
Larry Wright just totally lost Gus that time. He had no idea where he was. Gus saw it, went to the hoop. That's what you should do. His man saw him.
Chenier was coming inside, and there's a 3-second violation. And on the turnover.
Now let's watch Gus on this play. You see Larry got caught up in the double screen. Gus went back door on the baseline. Easy 2 points.
Dick Motta took a piece of chalk before the game and wrote down, "Deny Sigma the ball." And that's what they have been trying to do. And Wes Unseld said that's harder than it sounds against Jack. He's very active. Shelton, and they've turned it over on the dribble.
They dropped the ball, pick it up, and then try to go again. You can't do that. Referee Dick O'Donnell had him all the way.
And the substitute Bullet guards have come alive here with 17 points. Wright with 8, Chenier 3, Charles Johnson with 6. Out of bounds, so Bullets keep possession as Dennis Johnson went scrambling for another loose ball. DJ is all over the place defensively.
You lay it on the floor as Chenier did, and you're careless, you'll get a hand on it. That's what happened on that play.
63-57. Bobby D. Smooth against 2 men. Wright is taking Williams. Gus was fouled. Score it. Chance for a 3-pointer. Motta and the Bullets are unhappy.
They're going to call that a continuation.
Well, I tell you, that was
a little quick.
He had his hands on him. He had made the call a long time before, but they had given one like that to Elvin Hayes early in the ball game. So turnabout is fair play. Called the foul on the hands before the move, and Gus just kept going up, which you should do as an offensive player, and he got the call.
Unseld to help out against the pressure. Moves it to Dandridge. 3 minutes and 57 seconds. 3rd period. Live from Landover. Game 5 of the NBA World Championship Series. Knocked away from Unseld. And cleaning up was Dandridge off the Chenier. Loose. Shelton is off, and there is a whistle. As Shelton came down, it's going to go against Elvin Hayes. Loose ball foul.
Dandridge made a smart move when he drove into that lane. He went into the air to take a shot. He was doubled up, so he passed off, and then he ran right out of the 3-second lane area. And on the rebound, Hayes got the foul.
Gus Williams has come alive to score 9 points this period. Shelton had 13 shots in the first half. Sigma coming up around Elvin Hayes, fouled him. That's 4 fouls on Jeff Sigma.
We'll watch Sigma on this last play. There's E with the inside position. Backs off a little bit to go. Right there, he hits him on the hand.
I want to tell you, Lenny Wilkins just about picked up a technical foul. He came off with the choke sign, and Joker's shoe didn't seam moments ago. And they steal the ball from Unseld. Sigma with control. He was working with John Johnson. 3 minutes and 5 seconds. 65-60 bullets. Dandridge is off with a miss. And here is Wright. Chenier. They double team. Dennis Johnson hacked him. Foul called. And Wilkins is furious. Paul Mahalik is over there beside him.
Brent, I tell you, you can tell Lenny is really up for this ball game. I've never seen him quite so demonstrative on the sidelines during any basketball game.
Well, man, it was important, and he doesn't want to lose this when even though he'll be going home. He wants to finish it tonight. And they're calling him close. I think they should tighten the game up a little bit when you go late in the game.
Elvin Hayes is called underneath.
Now, I'll tell you right now, that I have to say is a bad call, because I happen to be watching the play all the way. You're seeing the end of it. Now you see Silas trying to sneak under him right there, and Elvin gets called for the foul. That is a bad call.
For Hayes, 3 fouls. Unseld with 3. Dandridge with 3. Wright with 3. 4 on Sigma. 3 on Dennis Johnson. 2 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the third period. It is a 5-point bullet lead as the Sonics keep possession. Mata with a few words for Jake O'Donnell, and he was not inviting him to tea afterwards. Dennis comes up on Charles Johnson. Dandridge and J.J. cleans up and missed the shot underneath. It goes over.
He missed from wide open. I don't think he realized he had Dandridge on his back, and Bobby had put his hands in his pockets. He was wide open and missed an easy one. Here it is. You see Hayes right there. Salas gives him a bump. No call made. Dandridge was outside on the rebound. He didn't pick it up as J.J. missed the layup. It's back to Washington with the ball.
Dennis Autry, Paul Silas, Fred Brown on the floor for Lenny Wilkins. They go backdoor to Hayes.
That was a set play that time, Brent. They knew Silas has been overplaying. They worked it beautifully.
To give them a 7-point lead and the delay of game warning against the Bullets.
What do you have to do on that play is step out, as Hayes did, and then go back. But he had Salas completely out of line. He grabbed it and easily got the dunk shot on a perfect pass.
Jake O'Donnell exchanging words now with the Bullet front court men.
And that is not good. An official shouldn't do that. He just told him next time you do that with the ball, you're out of here. And not in a championship game. Not even a regular season that should happen.
Dennis comes around the Autry screen. Silas touched it. And 54 seconds left in period 3. Hayes going back in behind Silas again that time, and there was a foul called. Goes against Silas.
Here it is. Silas trying again to front Hayes. Just keeps butting into him with his back, and as the ball was lobbed over his head, the foul occurred as contact made as Hayes released.
Unseld. Waits for Dandridge. Dandridge into the key with a running hook. 18 points for Dandridge and a 9-point bullet lead at the 125 mark in the third. DJ. Foul called.
Goes
against Charles Johnson.
He reached around him, Brent, tried to hook the ball away from him and got the foul. Ballard checks in for the Bullets, and Dandridge will go out.
There's Jack right there reaching in, caught Dennis on the left arm. That's where the foul occurred. It was a one-shot foul, but now they're in the penalty, so it's 1 + 1, 4-2.
Give you an idea just how valuable Dennis Johnson has been offensively in this series. During the regular season, Dennis Johnson averaged 15.9 points a game for the Sonics. During the championship series, he has averaged 23 points. So Dennis Johnson has tacked on 8 points to his average during the championship series. And Bobby Dandridge sitting on the bench along with Wes Unseld and Phil Chenier. Dave Corzine out of DePaul, number 40, is on the floor. Grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and we got another whistle. Hayes was maneuvering. Paul Silas was over there.
That's amazing sometimes, though, Brent. That's why it gets frustrating. There was probably the least amount of contact in that play that these two players right there with the hand, a little bit of a touch, just a little hand again, and the foul called. And they've been hammering each other out there, and nothing's called. So that's why it gets frustrating as a player.
Hayes short on the free throw.
So this is a game of contact. If you don't make contact, they're going to call a foul on you.
Elvin is 10 of 9 from the field and 4 of 6 free throwing. 24 points, 11 rebounds, and a couple of blocked shots. And Jack Sikma watching.
10 of 19.
I had it already accounted for. Here is Brown. Downtown now. He has been the scorer off the Sonic bench.
Yeah, look for a quick one here and get the ball back. Sure him of another shot at it. Speaking of Washington, playing the clock.
Lobs it high. Hayes. Corzine rebounds. Yanked down by Ballard, and there'll be a jump ball.
Autry was in on the play. There's the rebound. You see Dennis and Ballard right there. They have tied it up in the jump call.
Looked like Dennis had his arm and not the ball.
Well, that's part of the championship series. Don't you understand that?
Here's the
You
jump.
don't need the ball in this series.
Otford tapped it off to JJ, and here comes Dennis. In a foot race with Charles, inside to the glass. Pretty play by Dennis Johnson that time. That's 14 points for Dennis, 15 for the Wizard, 29 now for the two guards, and Freddie Brown with 8.
That's 6 straight points now that the Sonics have run off, and it looked like the Bullets are going to take command with that 9-point lead.
Away from right, and a foul call against Brown. And Joe Gashu put the hand up like he was going to call a technical. He stopped himself.
When you go after a player like Freddie did, that sometimes you'll get it to you. Here's DJ a moment ago, and that leaping leaner off the glass. Oh, frozen rope line drive shot. Beautiful touch.
So now the Bullets being plagued by the missed free throws, something that the Sonics are plagued with in 2 ball games.
Off to Dennis. Away from Autry as the third period comes to an end. 12 minutes for a championship coming up. It's 69-66. The Bullets lead the Sonics, and the Bullets must win. We begin period number 4, 69-66. The Bullets lead the Sonics, and the Sonics are within 1 victory of a world championship. As the Bullets do not convert a free throw, Seattle does not miss, and the Sonics hit a blistering 53% from the field. Jack Sikma now with 13 rebounds and 2 block shots. He's only 3 of 10 from the field, but he's holding his own against Wes underneath. Short, and it comes off to Dandridge.
Brent, one statistic we haven't talked about a lot. Right now, 37-28 in favor of the Sonics on the rebounds. That's really incredible. They've done a great job on the boards. The first half, 15 offensive boards. That kept them in the game.
Might add to Wes Unseld back in the lineup. He's pretty well rested now. He had about 3 minutes over there.
Sikma's pass quickly to Brown, and here's Silas. Busting down on the right side. 69-68.
Mata took a little chance, and he put Bobby D and Wes on the bench to rest. They had an 8-point lead. They lost 5 of that when those substitutes were in there. It was costly.
Dandridge now operating at guard. Hayes, Ballard, and Unseld are up front. So they open the money period with Dandridge playing guard. Loose ball foul underneath. Charles Johnson was back there dueling for it, and he picked up the personal.
Dandridge got the shot he wanted, but when it wouldn't go, they picked up the foul on the rebound play.
The Sonics have not led all game long, and now they shoot for the lead. Downtown, off to the side, and Unseld. Quickly now to CJ. Sonics drop back on defense. Sigma comes out to Unseld. West gets it back from the top of the circle. Too much spin, and Silas to the rebound, and the Sonics with a second chance now to go ahead. Freddie Brown, Dennis Johnson, Jack Sigma, Paul Silas, and John Johnson on the floor for Lenny Wilkins. JJ comes out. Brown maneuvers. 8 on the shot clock. 7 hanger. Seattle leads for the first time.
Freddie's like a pitcher in baseball. He's got so much junk, you never know what's coming up. He can put it in the hole.
10 minutes. Lenny Wilkins kneeling. Les Habeger standing. One hand to Elvin. Out of the double team. E tapped up by Ballard. West. Jack Sigma yanks down the rebound, and here is John Johnson.
Again, that's an easy shot that they missed. Dandridge missed a moment ago when the quarter started, and that time E really missed what should have been an easy shot for him.
Jack Sigma. JJ was open, knocked away by Ballard with a quick hand.
There's Freddie Brown a moment ago, that leap and leaner shot. He actually wanted to pass the ball. CJ backed up and he leaped in and banked it right off the glass softly. Nice touch.
Dennis gets it back from Sigma. Hayes and Silas was behind him. Silas fouled him, and that is number 5 on veteran Paul Silas.
There's the rebound, Paul. Call for going over the back. He didn't like the call.
In this game, Washington started out with a 30-point quarter, cooled off to 21, and then dropped to an 18. The Sonics have climbed 19, 24, 23. Here comes Freddie, and there's a foul call.
They're going to call that foul on Dandridge. And he had it looked like he would have to pack to the ball, and Brown knocked it away from him as they bumped bodies. Unusual call.
No backcourt foul.
That's because the ball was in front of Fred in the front court, even though the foul occurred in the back court.
No control as they both were going for it, so it'll be Seattle basketball.
70-69. The Sonics lead the Bullets. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Silas moved it to Shelton. Ballard and Hayes came right through the line, and there was a foul against Greg Ballard.
Here's the ball knocked away. Dandridge right behind. Right here's the foul as he tried to hold up Freddie Brown, who would have had the ball and gone for that layup that did not count.
Freddie Brown off the bench is 5 of 8.
And Bert, that's 3 quick team fouls now on the Bullets with 9:16 to go. Only 1 on the Sonics. That could be pivotal when you get down to the end.
Shelton sets the screen. Hayes switches out on Freddie. Sigma sends it back to him. Jack put it down, knocked away, retrieves. In time to Shelton. And the Sonics have built now a 3-point lead, 72-69, 8 minutes and 54 seconds. The championship at stake. Knocked away from Hayes, run down by CJ. Charles Johnson makes it a 1-point game. Here we go again. Game 4 was beautiful down the stretch, and this one is shaping up the same way. Dennis Johnson across the timeline now. Sends it to John, then lob into Sigma. Unseld, clawing, scratching, clawing, and Sigma hits 2. He didn't even hit the net with that shot. 74-71 now. 8 minutes and 24 seconds up on the clock. Mata calls the play for the Bullets. Dandridge goes in underneath. Charles Johnson regains control. Back to West. Quickly now to Ballard. Ballard maneuvers, goes to the glass. It'll come out. Sigma with another rebound. Control. Wilkins wanted the backcourt foul as Jack had possession. 74-71. Sonics lead. 16 rebounds for Jack Sigma in this game. DJ backs in on Dandridge. Spins to the baseline. Not there. Yanked away by Ballard. Here comes Dandridge. A foot race with DJ. Sigma switches over. Inside to Ballard. Blocked, and it'll be goaltending. Put it up there. 74-73 on the goaltending.
That was a good call, an obvious goaltending. You take a look at it again. Dandridge drops it into Ballard. He's got a block there from Unseld. Doesn't realize it. Puts it up. And then Shelton came around Unseld and blocked the ball off the glass, but pinned it. So it's goaltending, 2 points for Ballard.
7 minutes and 35 seconds now left in game 5 in regulation time. Downtown, 2 more. Put them up for Freddie.
They're playing with confidence, and the Bullets do not have confidence right now. That's the difference. Seattle They could feel that championship was very close. They're after it.
Bullets trying to ease back to within one. Ballard from the perimeter. And Dandridge is alone, and as he came up, he was fouled underneath. He'll come at the free throw line.
Shelton knew he committed a foul. Bobby made a very good fake. You see him get the rebound. Little pump right there. Draws the men up in the air. When you leave your feet, you're in big trouble in this league.
Dandridge has shot 84% from the free throw line throughout this championship series. These are critical now. 7:07, and the Bullets down by 3.
And Brent, it's the missed free throws that are hurting them right now. If they had made their free throws in the third quarter, and here's another miss right here, they'd be ahead in this ball game.
They are 0 for 5 free throwing this half. Make it 1 of 6. And it's a 2-point game. 76-74. 7 minutes and 7 seconds. John Johnson. Ballard assigned to him. Inside backdoor to Dennis. Turns on Dandridge and puts down 2 more. Dennis Johnson has played an unbelievable series. 16 points now for DJ.
What a tough shot. You'll see Elvin Hayes come over and try to help Dandridge. Watch the E go up. And yet DJ put it over to 2 players and banked it in.
6 minutes and 40 seconds. And if the Sonics can hold on and win it, they'll have their first NBA World Championship. Send it back now to Charles Johnson. CJ maneuvers, dishes off now. Dandridge, high arch. Shelton to the rebound. All elbows as it comes out, getting breathing room. Now it's Dennis. Lead up to John Johnson. CJ taking him downtown, put it in, and he was fouled. Freddie will come up to the free throw line.
Foul on Elvin Hayes on that play. You go all the way back to the defensive intimidation that Seattle pulled on Dandridge when he tried to take that shot. It was that close. He put it up too high, missed it, and then we get a basket from Brown.
And Freddie is 7 of 10 now off Lenny Wilkins' bench.
At Pioneer, we don't build a high-fidelity receiver the way some of our competitors do. Instead of a pressboard bottom, our SX780 has a metal one that limits interference. It has power meters and a DC power supply for richer bass. It's things like this that have made Pioneer #1 among people who care about music. And isn't that why you buy high-fidelity components? Because you care about music? Pioneer's SX780.
Last week, I went looking for a bargain on a muffler. So I go to a department store auto center. I said, get me out in under an hour. He says, what am I, Houdini? So I go to a muffler shop. I say, does that fit my car? He says, I'll make it fit. So I go to a gas station. I said, how about a guarantee in writing? He says, who's got time to write? Their idea of a bargain was no bargain. Midas gave me a good price and everything I wanted. It pays to Midasize.
If a man's lapel begins to rebel and the pockets in his pants become losers, then he needs Panatella Clothes by Levi's Sportswear. Panatella slacks, blazers, and suits hold their great looks because they're sewn to the tough standards that made the Levi's name famous for durability. Panatella from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
One packed house after another throughout the NBA playoffs. And next year, we can expect more of the same. Magic Johnson checking in with the Los Angeles Lakers. That team has undergone a change in ownership, subject, of course, to approval by the NBA Board of Governors. Dr. Jerry Buss will take over the Lakers. He will also buy from Jack Kent Cooke the Los Angeles Kings hockey team and the Los Angeles Forum. Joe Heisler, an old friend and a former co-worker at CBS, will be one of Buss's right-hand men. He will help run the Forum operation. Missed free throw by Freddie Brown now. And in this half, the Bullets have scored but 23 points. It is 80-74. Sonics close in on a championship. 6 minutes, foul called before the shot. No basket. Hayes wanted the continuation on that shot.
You know, Dandridge drops this ball in when he had the opening on this pass. And there's Hayes with the ball and Shelton behind him. They called a foul before he turned and did this.
Paul Mihalik said the foul occurred on the pass. That's why he didn't allow the continuation rule.
4 fouls on Shelton. Larry Wright, 32, sends it into Dandridge. Dennis Johnson taking him. Mr. Clutch sends it out to Wright, who's open. Out And Sigma was still another rebound. The Sonics have out-rebounded the world champions, 43-32. Sigma has out-rebounded Unseld, 17-3 in this game. Shelton is alone. Yanked off by Dandridge now. Dandridge comes across the timeline. DJ sticks with him. They go one-on-one. Dandridge to the shot in the glass. Sigma taken away, and it's on the end line. Bullets ball. He, in fact, look at it.
DJ grabbed it. He grabbed it. He's sitting down out of bounds. He knows it. He said to the referee, all right, here's Dandridge trying to outmove her, DJ. And when the ball is knocked away, Dandridge picks it up, then starts to make a move, and DJ knocked it away from him, grabbed the ball, and he was out of bounds. He's everywhere, Rick.
Well, that's right. He knew he was there, but he said, heck, if I can grab the ball and stop Bobby, why not?
Sent to Elvin, knocked away by Shelton, and here's Freddie Brown. Lead to John Johnson, who broke free. Knocked away by Wright. Marvelous defensive play by Larry Wright, who came back with John Johnson at the 5-minute mark. It's 80-74 now. Dandridge comes over to the left. Dennis jumps out and batters the open line. Hit it beautiful pass. It's 80-76 now.
What a big play that time by Wright. Boy, that might be the one to turn it around for him.
John Johnson had broken free, was all alone, and Wright kept hustling, scrambling. Now it's John Johnson, sickly and low. Jack wants to turn on Unseld. West is there. It's one-on-one. Clear out, put down to the blonde blonde from Illinois, Wesleyan. 82-76 now, 4:34. Double team the ball, goes over to Wright. Right on the dribble now. Brown taking him from behind his back, comes around. Freddie doesn't buy the fake, goes back to Dandridge. Quickly to E. Elvin wants Shelton. Shelton fouled him.
There's a talk about earlier, Brett, in the papers today where Johnny Johnson was talking about Sigma's great shooting and clutch situation. Here's that block earlier. Johnson went in and CJ knocked it away, or Wright rather, and then Ballard picked it up, and that saved 2 points and gave the Bullets 2 at the other end.
5 on Shelton. He goes out, and Paul Silas, he comes back in. He will play with 5 at the 4-minute and 21-second mark. It's 82-76, and the Big E at that free throw line. You've seen him do that before.
And the free throws again, we pointed out.
In the first half, they made 9 out of 11.
It's been disastrous right now.
Hayes has a terrible string of fourth periods working in this championship for Dick Motta. No points yet here in the fourth period. There is his first point. And Lenny Wilkins will go immediately to the timeout. And what they're shooting for right now is that NBA World Championship trophy. They are 4 minutes and 21 seconds away from achieving that goal. We'll be right back.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's it say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A third less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boog Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Chevrolet demonstrates the numbers of the 1980 Chevy Citation.
It's the first Chevy of the 80s.
Chevy Citation has mid-size room enough for 5 people. And in the hatchbacks, Citation has room enough for 30 bags of groceries and 2 people. Yet it's efficient enough to offer gas mileage estimates you might expect in a smaller car. Take a Citation demonstration drive at your Chevy dealers today.
Chevy Citation.
When it comes to clean, nobody shines like McDonald's.
You're the reason we do it. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can.
The Rainbow Man has this Landover, Maryland crowd in a frenzy right now. 4 minutes and 21 seconds to go. I'm Brent Strasburger with Hot Rod Hundley and Rick Barry. It's 82-77. Sonics lead the Bullets, and if they win, they'll be world champions. Hayes and Dandridge only a point apiece here in the fourth period against the Sonics. Unseld knocked it away from Sickma. Goes out of bounds. Sonics keep possession with 5 seconds. 5 seconds up there on that shot clock. 4 minutes and 3 seconds for the game. Dennis Johnson shot is off and Ballard rebounds. 82-77 now. Larry Wright to the left side, dribble for the Bullets. Gus Williams will soon check back in for Wilkins. Here's Dandridge. Elvin will take it low, turn on. Sickma misses. Loose, run down by Dennis Johnson. On the dribble, he got past Wright. Dandridge comes with him. Dennis comes in with a field goal, and he's fouled. Score it for DJ Dennis Johnson out of Pepperdine.
Here's Dennis Johnson. What a great crossover dribble. He just has Larry Wright falling down. Bobby D chasing him. He sees it's a hopeless situation. When he bent over there, he made contact. That's the foul.
Right at the start of it, as you look at it again from another angle, good move by DJ, protected the ball well. Elvin Hayes had an easy shot. It looked like he was trying to guide the ball instead of releasing it properly, and he missed it. That set up the Seattle basket.
5 fouls on Dandridge. And this is the biggest Sonic lead, 85-77. They can ice down the champagne as they close in. Right, Hayes cleans up. Not yet, says the Big E. 85 now to 79. Uneasy rests the crown. Wright jumps in on Williams. Foul against the Bullet guard in the backcourt.
So you're in the penalty. It'll be 3 to make 2 on the backcourt foul. That'll send Gus to the line.
3 minutes and 25 seconds for the game, and Sport Magazine will be taking its Most Valuable Player award soon. We'll be participating. We'll have the winner at the end of the game if the Sonics hold on. 3 minutes and 25 seconds can be an eternity in professional basketball. 87-79. Tosses it back now to Wright. Hayes with Sickma working on him, and Elvin moving to the glass that time. It's a 6-point Seattle lead.
It's going to be a tough decision to get an MVP out of this one.
John Johnson. Down to Sickma. Inside now to J.J.
Call a foul on Elvin Hayes before the shot, Brent. So J.J. in a penalty will get the line, and again, these fouls is a big difference.
Smart player, Rod. The double team. Somebody leaves their man, and J.J. said, hey, I'm open, so I go to the hoop. And there he goes, gets the foul against E. That's just good, sound, fundamental basketball.
On Hayes.
Both clubs are in that penalty situation now. Even though there's only 4 on Seattle, the next foul will put Washington at the line in the penalty. 2:52 left in the game.
And Wright comes to the attack now for the Bullets. Pull-up jump shot for the right corner is on the money. 88-83. 5-point lead. 2 minutes and 42 seconds now.
It's time for the Bullets to play the best defense of the season if they expect to get back into this series.
J.J. Jumper outside. Yanked down by Hayes. Hayes is off to Dandridge. It's a 5-point lead by the Sonics. Dandridge comes in, drew the foul as he came through the middle that time. Dennis Johnson, as Bobby Dandridge comes up now, both teams are in the penalty. He was in the act of shooting, so they have 3 to make those 2, and they are so critical.
He made a good move as he came across the lane wanting the shot. DJ had timed it, but Bobby hesitated in the air just at one moment that gave Dennis the move into him with the body and the arm to get the foul. So Dandridge 3 to make 2.
That's 4 fouls on Johnson.
Right there, he hesitated, and then he put it up actually on his way down to force the contact and get the foul.
88-85. 3-point lead. 2 minutes and 13 seconds now. Crowd on his feet. Sickma Unseld was behind him. Bobby Dandridge had dropped back as the 2-minute warning now is announced to both teams. 88-85 Seattle. Williams and Elvin Hayes directing traffic, and Gus puts him at 90-85. It's a 5-point Sonic lead. A minute 50 now to go. Wright sends it back. Elvin Hayes from the perimeter. Yanked down by Ballard, who comes up with a reverse layup. A big play by young Greg Ballard. 90-87, a minute 42.
That was just brute strength when he grabbed that rebound and then reversed it. Look again. He yanks it down. Fake Sigma goes underneath and puts it back off the spin off the glass.
135. Sigma fouled by Dandridge, who had backed into him, fronting big Jack Sigma.
That's 6 on Bobby.
So Dandridge fouls out of the game at the 129 mark, putting even more offensive pressure on Elvin Hayes. Dandridge leaves with 21 points. And Sigma at the free throw line for Lenny Wilkens and the Sonics. Look at the long season etched in that young face. We'll go back to it with at the free throw line as Phil Chenier is checked in. Here's Sigma at the line.
He's had an incredible series, Brett. Super rebounder, great competitor.
Missed the free throw. There it is. 23-year-old Jack Sigma with 17 rebounds. Leading rebounder in this series against the likes of Unseld, Hayes. And he hit a big one. 91-87. Timeout. Mata and the Bullets. They trail it now by 4.
You'd think Lenny was behind instead of having the lead. Boy, he's done a great job with his club. It's been quite a series. Timeout.
Seen Harry meet the Rainbow Man.
Mardi Gras in Washington.
But it will end quickly if the Bullets don't come back. A minute 29 to go. The Sonics eye the title. It's a 2-point game. Larry Wright, 91-89 on that jump shot from the perimeter. Gus Williams slowly comes up.
They want to get fouled. The man to foul would be Paul Salas. He's not a good free throw shooter. You don't want to foul these guards because they can hit in pressure situations.
Williams comes around right to the floor. It's a 4-point Sonic lead on that field goal by Gus Williams. 21 points by Williams. Mata to the timeout. And Mata with a few choice words for Jake O'Donnell on this play.
Watch it. Go right into right. Down to go right. Gus with unbelievable body control. Leans in softly with the right hand. Got a big basket. Timeout. 1:08 left. Sonics by 4.
And there is the champagne inside the Seattle locker room as they close in on a world championship in Landover. Wright goes back to Unseld. West pulls the Bullets to within 2. 93-91, and still a minute 2 to go. Pressure now against the Sonics. We come down inside of a minute. Here's Gus Williams, who went one-on-one.
They got to help everybody now. They know they're going to go to these guards. Gus hit a big shot a moment ago. They got to help. Double up.
Bickerstaff is out on the floor. Williams dishes the side. It's Dennis Johnson. Dennis, it's a 4-point lead.
Just what I was talking about. Those two guards are the men you've got to stop in that situation.
39 seconds. And the foul called as they came back down. Gus Williams assessed the personal.
We're in the penalty both ways, so Larry Wright with big free throws. 1 plus the penalty. Lenny Wilkens.
First field.
38 seconds on the clock. They're coming over to take a look. Jake O'Donnell. The coaches are both there. Lenny Wilkens.
The reason why was that the big scoreboard did not reflect 95. It stayed at 93 on Dennis Johnson's basket. Lenny Wilkens saw it when they came down. That's why the game was stopped. They went over to the scorer's table, and it is 95-91 on the big board with 38 seconds, and now it's 95-92.
Here's the man that hit the big free throws in game 1 that won it for the Bullets after the game was over, Larry Wright, and he hits the front end.
38 seconds, so the Sonics cannot run out the clock. If Wright hits this one, there'll be big lean in by the big man if he misses. It's a 2-point game, 38 seconds now, 95-93. Williams and Dennis Johnson exchange signals. Here comes Gus now doing it up. He comes across the timeline. We're down inside of 30 seconds. Can you believe how this series has wound up? Dennis Johnson lobs it off now to Sigma. Sigma turns on West. West is there. Double team. Send it back to Dennis. 7 on the shot clock. Short. Unset. Loose. John Johnson. They can run it out. 15 seconds. 15 seconds and they foul Gus Williams. It was up for grabs right there.
Unseld misjudged it, and the ball went right back to the Seattle Supersonics, and they smartly made a foul. Motto on the bench. Boy, what a play. Here it is. There's the rebound. Fumbled away. Was squirted right over the head of Elvin Hayes and picked off by Johnny Johnson. Then out to Gus, and Larry Wright grabbed him. Gus at the line.
Gus Williams, the Sonics leading by 2, and now it's 3 in 12 seconds, and now you can feel it.
That's the big one. All they got to do now on defense is put their hands in their pockets, give them a basket, but just drop it back down in the middle defensively, make them shoot outside, and do not commit a foul.
That's a 4-point lead in 12 seconds, and the Bullets will quickly huddle up around Dick Mudd now. They'll get down and fire quickly and try to pressure the inbounds pass. Meanwhile, the Sonics congratulating themselves over there in the corner. And I imagine folks all throughout the state of Washington and in Seattle, down to the great Northwest now, are reaching for the champagne, Hot Rod.
No question about that, Brent. They richly deserved it when you could come away from home and win, and they've done it. They're a great basketball club, and take nothing away from the Bullets. They're the defending world champions, but they have not shot well throughout this series, and that's been their downfall. And now to take a look at their strategy, as you mentioned, they want to get a quick basket, obviously. And hopefully they could get it down low. Perhaps to Hayes, he can get a field goal, and then pressure defense. They cannot pick them up in midcourt. They got to get them all over the court and gamble for a steal.
And of course, we will be inside that Sonic locker room if they capture this championship. And there's nothing quite like the first one. And if Seattle can do it, they will become only the second team in the last 20 years to win the title after losing in the final round the previous year. Since 1960, only the 1973 New York Knicks were able to rebound from a final round loss to win the championship the following season. 12 seconds, all now that separates Seattle from its goal. Gus Williams and John Johnson smiling as they come out of that huddle. The crowd, 19,000, still here in the Capitol Center, still urging the Bullets on.
All right, they'll have Unseld take it out. They'll probably try to lob it down low. If not, then the guards will scissor off Chenier and Wright and probably get a jump shot out front. But the important thing for Seattle is do not commit a foul here, especially in the active shooting. You've got the lead, you've got the time. 12 seconds. Here we go.
Unseld to inbound. Start the countdown. Ballard off with the shot. Sonics control from the corner.
They don't even have to come in. Front.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the celebration begin in Seattle. It is over. The Seattle Supersonics have won the NBA World Championship Series in 5 games, beating the Washington Bullets 97-93. But listen to the crowd in Landover. Listen to this display of sportsmanship.
They're actually applauding everyone. Not a boo in this. Really applauding the play of both Seattle and the Bullets. You got to appreciate that Seattle play. They deserved it. They played great basketball.
The opera has come to an end. The fat lady came down with laryngitis on a Friday night. She was struggling hard.
I believe she's fickle.
A very fickle fat lady. Inside that jubilant locker room, we'll be going in there, of course, to talk to the players. We will also make the announcement right now that that car is going to go to Dennis Johnson. He's been voted the most valuable player here as the Seattle Supersonics have won the NBA World Championship, and we'll be right back in Landover, Maryland.
And if ever there was a man who deserved to be wearing that shirt and drinking some of that champagne, it certainly is Dennis Johnson. Dennis, I don't know if you realized that you were named the MVP. What are your feelings?
Right now, I'm ecstatic. I really, I don't know what to say. I'm happy. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for Seattle.
Listen, it had to be a tough year for you. You played so well last year. You lost in the 7th game, and up until that game, we all felt that you would have been the MVP in that series. And then you lost it, and yet you came back, had a great season, and here you are, and you've got it.
Just determination. We thought we should have had last year, but we blew it. Naturally just blew it. We came back this year with a lot more determination, hustle, a lot more guts, and we pulled it off.
I know you're beside yourself, the feeling I had. Listen, how are you looking forward to that ring?
Oh, most definitely. I'm going to get my finger fitted.
I think you got Sam Shulman, who I've been talking to. You got him in big trouble. Your contract's up for negotiation, isn't it?
Well, I'm staying in Seattle. I ain't going nowhere. I like Seattle. This makes me even enjoy it a lot more.
Listen,
so
congratulations. You go enjoy the celebration. And let's go to Brent Musburger now for the presentation of the championship trophy.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. And as you can see over here on the left-hand side, Sam Shulman right now is in no mood to say no to Dennis Johnson or anybody else. The commissioner, Larry O'Brien, is going to make the presentation of the championship trophy. Commissioner?
Well, thanks very much, Brent. And let's all remember that in the NBA, there are 242 players. They are the 242 greatest players in the world. And I'm sure the Sonics will join with me in saying the Washington Bullets, you were great competitors, you acquitted yourself well, it was a great series. So, here we are. To the owner of the Sonics, Sam Shulman, to the president of the Sonics, Zolly Volchuk, to this great coach, Lenny Wilkins, and Les Haberger, his assistant coach, to captain downtown, Freddie Brown. The champion in the NBA is the champion of the world. So the Seattle Supersonics are the new world champions, and I now want to present the world trophy to them, which they can keep permanently, and be careful of it because it's gold.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Here you are. So the trophy presentation to the owner, who has struggled with an expansion team up in Seattle. And tonight they go all the way, the championship of the world. And congratulations to the organization that put this team together. And Sam, careful. Let me reach across here. What are your thoughts right now at this moment?
Friends, I'm going to be in a state of euphoria for years to come. This has been one of my main goals in life, to win a championship. And just give me another second or two. The achievements of the Seattle Supersonics starts from the very top to the very bottom. And without a Zolly Volchuk, without the kind of staff we have, without 11 wonderful players, and the genius of Lenny Wilkins and Les Haberger, the Seattle Sonics would be nothing. And let me just compliment the Bullets for one of the finest shows of basketball ever seen in a championship. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam, very much. Coach Wilkins, tonight as I looked across the way, and Rick made the observation, we'd never seen you quite this intense before during a ball game. You didn't want this to go back to a Game 6 at all, did you?
Well, Brent, we definitely did not want to go back to Seattle. We wanted to clinch it here, to win it here. You know, the Bullets are true champions, and they beat us last year at home, and we kind of felt like we owed it back to them. But I think that's just good competitiveness between two of the greatest teams in the league. And we wanted it. We all were emotionally involved in the game, and it was just a great basketball game.
Lenny, what'd you tell the Sonics at halftime? You had not shot well against the Bullets in the first half.
Well, I felt that they had played their best, and we hadn't, and we were only 9 points down. I felt that if we played our defense, be a little bit more patient on our shots because we were rushing earlier, that we would get back in the game. We had to utilize our offense because we just feel that when we run our offense and execute, that nobody's going to stop us.
All right, Lenny, let's go back inside the locker room now with a couple of the players and Rick Berry. Rick?
And here we have two men very deserving of the championship. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, taking care of things here. I'll send the bill to Sam Shulman for this suit now. Jack, it took me almost 10 years to get a championship ring. Here it's your second year. What do you think?
Well, it's a great feeling, you know, and, you know, I'm just happy to be with a club like Seattle, and, you know, we all pulled together, worked hard, and it paid off.
Well, it certainly did. And how did you feel playing that center position?
Well, you know, it was new to me early in the year, but I played a little bit last year, and I got comfortable as the year went on. The guys helped me, you know, had confidence in me, and, you know, just learn something new every game.
I'm sure this fella right here helped you a lot. Paul, you've been there before. This team reminded me a great deal of the way you played together, the unity you have of the old Celtic teams.
Well, yes, it is, Rick, but I tell you, this team was so young and so beautiful. I tell you, the guys really came through, never gave up, and I think this is the greatest one of all. How you doing?
Congratulations to you, fellas. You just really did a remarkable job. Lonnie, come on in here. You might as well get a little time on the air. Lonnie, come here. Lonnie Shelton. Lonnie came here first year with the ball club, and you really blended in beautifully, I thought. What are your thoughts about this championship?
Well, you know, we worked hard, and everybody stuck together, and looked bad at times during the game, but we just hung in there, and we knew if we could stay close, we could win the game at the end.
Okay, well, congratulations to all of you. Let's go back to Brent Musburger. I'm taking a shower.